Good morning, Miss Abril. Please, come in and have a seat. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Good morning, Mr. Nixon. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here at the Sheraton.
You're most welcome. I hope you found the hotel easily enough. My name is Richard Nixon, and I am the director of rooms here. I'll be leading our conversation today.
Yes, thank you. The location is very central. It's lovely to meet you, Mr. Nixon.
The pleasure is mine. So, to begin, could you please tell me a little bit about yourself and what has brought you to apply for the executive housekeeper position with us at the Sheraton Hotel?
Certainly. I am a dedicated housekeeping professional with over 8 years of experience in luxury hotels, most recently as an assistant executive housekeeper. The Sheraton has a world-renowned reputation for excellence and guest comfort, and I've always admired its standards. I'm looking for the next step in my career where I can use my experience to lead a team and ensure every guest experiences the famous Sheraton comfort and cleanliness. This role feels like the perfect fit for my skills and career goals.
That's wonderful to hear. Building on that, your CV mentions significant experience. Can you tell me more about your specific experience as an assistant executive housekeeper? What were your main responsibilities?
In my last role at the Grand Hotel, I was responsible for overseeing the daily operations of a 250-room property. My main duties included supervising a team of 40 housekeeping staff, from room attendants to public area cleaners. I managed the linen and uniform inventory, conducted regular room inspections to ensure we met our 5-star standards, and created the staff schedules. I also handled guest complaints related to housekeeping, working to resolve them quickly and to the guest's satisfaction. So, I have hands-on experience in all the key areas of the department.
That sounds like a substantial role. Working in a luxury hotel like the Sheraton can be very demanding. How do you personally handle pressure in stressful situations, for instance, during a full house holiday weekend?
I believe staying calm is the most important thing. I handle pressure by focusing on what I can control and by planning ahead. For example, before a peak time, I would ensure all staffing schedules are finalized, all supplies are fully stocked, and the team is briefed on the expected high occupancy. If a stressful situation does arise, like several last-minute checkouts at once, I would step in to help the team prioritize rooms, communicate with the front office, and reassure everyone that we will work through it together. My role is to be a calm and supportive leader so the team can focus on their tasks.
Excellent approach. A key part of this role is interacting with the guests. Can you describe a time when you had to handle a difficult situation with a guest regarding housekeeping?
Yes, I recall a situation where a guest was very upset because their room wasn't ready by the promised check-in time. They were tired from traveling and frustrated. First, I listened carefully to their complaint without interrupting, showing them I understood their frustration. I apologized sincerely for the delay and the inconvenience. I then personally expedited the cleaning of their room and, with permission from the front desk manager, offered them a complimentary drink at the bar while they waited. After they checked in, I followed up with a phone call to their room to ensure everything was now to their satisfaction. They appreciated the personal attention and left happy.
That's a great example of turning a negative into a positive. Shifting focus to your team. How would you motivate your housekeeping team to consistently uphold the very high standards of a 5-star hotel like ours?
Motivation comes from feeling valued and knowing what you're working towards. My strategy would be a mix of clear communication and recognition. Firstly, I would set very clear expectations through regular training and visual aids, so everyone knows exactly what a 5-star standard looks like. Secondly, I believe in catching people doing things right. I would make it a point to praise team members publicly for a perfectly cleaned room or a nice gesture towards a guest. We could also have an Employee of the Month program. When people feel their hard work is seen and appreciated, they take more pride in their job, and that naturally raises the standard.
I completely agree. Pride in work is essential. Now, let's talk about the technical side. How do you, as an executive housekeeper, ensure the highest level of cleanliness and hygiene across the entire hotel, from the guest rooms to the back of house areas?
For me, it's about a three-part system: training, inspection, and adherence to standards. Firstly, every team member must be thoroughly trained on our cleaning protocols and the proper use of chemicals and equipment. This includes strict adherence to health and safety guidelines. Secondly, I believe in a layered inspection process. The room attendant checks their work, a supervisor does a secondary check, and I do random daily inspections myself. This catches any issues. Finally, we must strictly follow all hotel and brand standards, as well as local health department regulations. I would also regularly audit our procedures to ensure we are always at the forefront of hygiene, which is so important to guests today.
That's a very systematic approach. And speaking of operations, what strategies would you use to manage housekeeping tasks during our absolute busiest times, ensuring efficiency doesn't drop?
Planning and flexibility are key. My strategy would start with proactive scheduling based on historical data and advanced bookings to ensure we have the right number of staff. I would also pre-order all necessary supplies to avoid shortages. On the day itself, clear communication is vital. I would hold a brief morning meeting to highlight the priority areas. I would also empower my supervisors to make quick decisions and reallocate staff from less critical areas to urgent ones if needed. For example, pulling a public area attendant to help turn over rooms if we are behind schedule. The goal is to be agile and responsive to the needs of the moment.
Agility is certainly important. As a leader, you will have to manage different personalities. How would you handle a situation where a senior member of your team, perhaps a long-serving supervisor, is consistently underperforming?
I would handle it with respect and a focus on improvement, not punishment. I would start with a private, one-on-one conversation. I would describe the specific performance issues I've observed, using clear examples. Then, I would listen to them. There might be an underlying reason, like a personal problem or a need for refresher training. My goal would be to work together to create a clear, written performance improvement plan with achievable goals and a timeline. I would offer my full support, whether that's additional training or more frequent check-ins. My aim is always to help an employee succeed. Only if there is no improvement after this support would I escalate it further.
A fair and supportive approach is what we value here. This role also involves a lot of coordination with other departments. How would you build a strong working relationship with the front office team?
I see the front office as our most important partner. Our work is completely connected. I would start by setting up a brief, daily 10-minute meeting with the front office manager to review the day's arrivals, departures, and any VIPs or special requests. This prevents surprises. I would also encourage my supervisors to build friendly relationships with the front desk agents, as they are the ones communicating directly. If there is a problem, like a delayed room, I would make sure my team communicates it to the front office immediately so they can manage guest expectations. It's all about open, respectful, and timely communication.
Excellent. Collaboration is key. Now, let's briefly touch on the financial side. As executive housekeeper, you'll be responsible for a significant budget. What is your experience with managing expenses, inventory, and cost control?
In my previous role, I was responsible for managing the housekeeping operating budget. This involved monitoring expenses like guest supplies, cleaning chemicals, and linen. For inventory, I implemented a first in, first out system for all supplies to minimize waste. I also work closely with our laundry manager to track linen pars and reduce loss. I believe in controlling costs without ever compromising on quality. For example, training staff to use the correct amount of cleaning chemicals saves money and is better for the environment, without affecting cleanliness.
That shows a good understanding of the big picture. Thinking about the future, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And how does this role at the Sheraton fit into that vision?
My goal is to become a recognized leader in luxury hotel operations. In 5 years, I see myself having successfully managed the housekeeping department of a prestigious property like the Sheraton, known for its flawless execution and high guest satisfaction scores. I want to be known for developing strong teams and innovative processes. This role is the perfect platform to achieve that, allowing me to take full ownership of a department and contribute to the success of a globally respected brand.
Well, Victoria, thank you. That covers most of what I wanted to ask you. You've shared some excellent insights about your experience and your approach to leadership. Now, I always like to turn the tables. This is your time to ask me anything. What questions can I answer for you about the role, the team, or working here at the Sheraton?
Thank you, Mr. Nixon. I do have a couple of questions, if that's all right. You've spoken a little about the team and the standards. My first question is about the team itself. Could you tell me a bit more about the structure of the housekeeping department? For example, how many supervisors would I be working with directly, and what is the team's current dynamic like?
That's a very practical and important question. Of course, you would have a strong leadership team reporting to you, 2 assistant executive housekeepers, 1 for guest rooms and 1 for public areas and laundry, and 5 housekeeping supervisors who manage the floor teams. The current team is hardworking and experienced, but they are eager for a leader who can bring fresh ideas and strong mentorship. They have a good foundation, and I believe the right person can really help them excel to the next level.
That is exactly the kind of challenge I am looking for. Balancing those priorities is something I am very passionate about. In my last role, I piloted a program to reduce chemical usage, and we saw great results. It would be wonderful to apply that experience here on a larger scale. Thank you for sharing that. It makes the role even more exciting to me.
You're very welcome. And it's good to hear that aligns with your passion. Well, Victoria, it has been an absolutely delightful conversation. Your experience is clearly strong, but more than that, your thoughtful questions and your genuine interest in the team and the hotel's goals have been very impressive.
Thank you, Mr. Nixon. I've really enjoyed our discussion as well. It's given me a wonderful feeling about the Sheraton and the positive culture here.
I'm glad to hear that. I still have a few more candidates to meet with this week, as I'm sure you can understand. I will personally review all the feedback, and you can expect to hear from me or someone from my team by the middle of next week regarding the next steps in the process.
That sounds perfect. I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me and for providing such a clear picture of the role and the hotel's vision.
The pleasure was all mine. Thank you for coming in, Victoria. Have a safe trip home.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.